Hello, friends. Whether from the VC or beyond, it's your boy Jeff. And been a little while since I've made a video. I still have one more 78 video that I made about a week ago that I just haven't uploaded yet. I haven't gotten around to it. Been a little busy, of course, as life goes. But my quest for Stephen King continues. And that's what this video is going to be about. So this past weekend, of course, It Chapter 2 was released, and I went to the show to see it. And the theater had these little mini posters that they were giving away, so of course I had to take one. And I put it in a frame. Of course, looking at it now, I'm hoping it's because it's kind of humid out and I have all the windows open, because the paper looks a little wrinkly. I'm hoping it will flatten out soon in drier weather, maybe, I'm hoping. But I had to trim this thing slightly to get it to fit in this frame, so. Gonna find a place for this, hopefully somewhere near my Stephen King bookshelves. But when I saw this, I just couldn't resist, so I had to take it. And saw It Chapter 2, and all I can say is, wow. It was pretty damn good, I have to say. I'm still reading the book. I'm only up to page like 763, so I still have a fair bit more to go. But this was my weekend off, and of course my wife wanted to see it too, so I'm like, let's go. And the movie is vastly different from the book. Especially, there were scenes in there that I had just recently read. Like, for example, if you see the trailer, one of the trailer scenes for the movie, you've got Beverly going to this apartment thinking she's going to meet her dad, and she ends up meeting this little old lady who lives there, and she invites her in for tea, and, things kind of deteriorate from there. Spoiler alert, in the book, the old lady turns into like a version of kind of like the Hansel and Gretel witch, kind of like, or cross between that or like the big bad wolf. And in the movie, she turns into this like giant, super creepy looking like hag or something like that. Stringy gray hair, and of course she's has no clothes on, which was scary enough. But there's in other words, I had no qualms about seeing the movie before I finished the book. So, and all of the characters look nothing like the way I have them pictured in my mind. I mean, I love James McAvoy. He's a fantastic actor. He's one of my favorites currently working today. He plays Bill Denbrough. The Bill that's in my mind from reading the book looks nothing like him. But that's okay. It's like watching a parallel universe version of the story. Cheers, everyone. And so it's light on a lot of plot elements. Things just kind of happen without really explaining them, or they're explained so fast and everybody just goes with it. That's kind of the problem I have with modern horror movies a lot of the times, because there's too much emphasis on the jump scare without developing the story enough just to try to, make my intelligence calmer, so I don't feel like I'm watching a bunch of idiots walking around on the screen. There's It Part 2 is sort of like that, but the special effects and the scary parts are just fantastic. So the visuals are pretty good, like I say, except for the characters of the Losers Club. I thought they cast the kids a lot better than the adults. But this was and this version of Pennywise compared to the original miniseries It is vastly superior. Vastly superior. I love this Pennywise much, much better. And just looking at the guy's face creeps me out. So if you're a King fan, obviously you got to see this. It's a long movie, of course, as other people have mentioned. I think Beth mentioned that in one of her recent videos. It's almost 3 hours long, but it does move pretty quick. It doesn't really drag, even though it's such a long movie. I mean, there's a lot that they cram in there, even though I know I just said they left a lot out. That's how big the story is and the source material. Definitely worth seeing. If you can catch it on a big screen, I would say do that. But any way you're able to watch it, I would say check out It Chapter 2. I would probably, when it comes out, for rental or release, I'll probably end up watching it again, or watching both of them again back to back. So it was very good. It was very well done. And yeah, that every time I think of Pennywise, it just which is what the movie's supposed to do, right? So yeah, did that over the weekend, and of course, since my last King video, I picked up several more of his books in hardcover version, and I think I've put them in chronological order, so I'm just going to show them to you quickly. Of course, the one that started it all, Carrie. This is King's first published novel, and I just have to show you the picture on the inner flap. Look at that guy, huh? Rocking it in 1974. You gotta love it. It's been a long time since I've read this book. Maybe somewhere down the road I might try rereading again, but it's pretty far down the list. I think if you're a new King reader, if you're new to his work, I wouldn't start with this book. I would read probably, 4 or 5 other ones first. And then if you're really curious, come back to this one just to see what, his first novel was like. It's not a bad book necessarily, just the concept didn't really grab me. I mean, I like the movie adaptation, especially the first one with Sissy Spacek in the 70s. And of course, this is what, this book enabled us to have all the other books that came after, so it does deserve that level of respect. It's just not one of my favorites. So I got it, of course, to have, I got to have the hardcover of Carrie, but probably not going to be rereading this anytime soon, but I got it. So there's that. Another book that is similar theme, instead of telekinesis, it's pyrokinesis. I got Firestarter. This was actually the first King book that I never finished. I bought the paperback, which I still have. And when I was catching up on King books in the early 80s, before I got current, with him, this was like the last one that I had to get and read to be like totally caught up. And I'm going to reread this one. I think it deserves another shot because I was in 7th grade, I think, when I read this. So it probably just didn't grab me as a kid, As an adult, we'll see. I have a feeling my opinion on a lot of these books that I'm going to be rereading or reading over again will change with an adult perspective compared to a kid perspective. So, of course, I had to get Firestarter, and this will probably be the first book I that I come back to read again that I didn't finish, I think. Because once I finish it, that's probably going to take me a little while. King's new book is supposed to come out this week, I think tomorrow. So I'll probably read that after it, and then I'll probably do this one. So you'll be seeing Firestarter sooner than later, assuming I keep doing these King videos. One of King's nonfiction books, Danse Macabre. This is another one that I've read before in paperback. This is his, here's a picture of him circa like 1981. This is King's survey on the horror genre, on, different movies, of course, books, different authors. It's been a really, really long time since I've read it, so I'll be rereading this one again. This came out in 1981, I believe. And I've heard people mention that an updated version of this was released later, but of course I had to go for the original hardcover. So Danse Macabre was another one that I got. Geralds Game. This was one that, quite honestly, I didn't finish. I had the paperback of this. Really didn't like it. But here's King circa like 1992. But since the Netflix movie has been released and I've heard a lot of good things about it, I'll try watching that movie. I'll see how it goes. And if I like that one enough, I might come back to this one. But I know I got at least halfway through this one, and it was just one of those books where just nothing was happening. And it just wasn't grabbing me, so I set it aside. So this might be a candidate for a reread, but it'll be further down the list. There's way more things of his that I want to reread before I get to this. But I am going to watch the Netflix movie that was just recently released, I believe. So I'll at least give that a shot. And finally, I got the hardcover illustrated version of Joyland. This was King's second book in the Hard Case Crime series. I have not read this one before. I have read his first Hard Case Crime book called The Colorado Kid. I have the hardcover version of that coming. It's in the pipeline. I read The Colorado Kid. Here's just a funny little side story. I read The Colorado Kid in Hawaii. I was staying at this resort, and we were there for like a week, and I had to do some laundry. I had to wash some clothes. So we go to their laundry room, and there was a bookshelf there with a sign that says, you know, take a book or leave a book, you know, one of those type of things. And I looked on the shelf, and there was a little paperback, little beat up paperback of Colorado Kid. So I'm like, oh, wow. So I took it and I read it. It was okay. I ended up putting it back on the shelf. I didn't even take it home with me. That should tell you something. But I've heard a lot of good things about Joyland, and this will be a sooner than later type of read too. So there's that. Okay. That brings me up to date. I still have several more books, like I said, in the pipeline. King's new book comes out this week. I have a couple more that I bought on eBay that are on the way. Colorado Kid is on the way from Amazon. I think it's on back order. And very, very soon I will have a full shelf of King. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, like I said, I'm way deep into it. Loving the book. I like the movie a lot. I'm loving the book, I have to tell you. And once I finish it, I will do a full on review or retro review or whatever you want to call it. Reviewing a book that's over 30 years old. That's been around forever. But yeah, I'm really digging it. It's really good. It's really long. It's a really big book, but it's really good. So there you go. Just wanted to give this little update on that. But using a King reference, a Dark Tower reference, I have not fallen off the path of the beam. I have not forgotten the face of my father. I am still doing record videos, believe it or not. There will be a spin zone this week. I have probably enough albums that I've played to do one, so that will be coming. And later this morning, I will be landing probably another 14 or 15 albums because I got a phone call from my dad, and he was at a garage sale, and he found the seller had some records, and for a very cheap price, so my dad picked up a bunch of them, including one that I've been looking for quite a while, but haven't found the right copyright price. So stay tuned for that. And actually might go back to that seller because according to my dad, he had a lot more records and he was trying to get my dad to take them all. So might be going there today to look at them. So there might be more. So there'll probably be a Gets video, as well as a Spin Zone, as well as a 78 Cavalcade, and King. So I'm doing all this extra new stuff for the channel. Hope you're enjoying it. I enjoy doing it. And yeah, it's going to be a busy week. But I have time. I'm off work till Wednesday, so going to utilize it as best I can. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Peace. Everybody take care. Have a good week. I'll be seeing you very soon. So take care.